Good evening, everyone. Did you ever wonder what a finger, piano finger, and a violin bow have in common? How it can affect your expression when you get tone on a single note out of the piano? I thought tonight I'd show you the inside of a piano. I took the fall board off of the concert grand, and I'm just going to pull the action out and let you see what it looks like. First, I'll take the camera and see if I can show you inside there, because I've got the light pointed down there. Just a second. Now, I don't know if you can see it or not, but that's the best I can do. So, I'm going to be ordering a new set of hammers and a new set of whippings for this piano. And that's going to be a huge undertaking, but it definitely needs it. So, you can take the action out on a grand piano by very carefully not pushing down on any of the wood, but draw the action out. Not pushing down because it'll lift the hammer up and it'll get snapped off. But I'll show you what it's like when it comes out. I have to wiggle it left and right without touching any keys. And then come underneath, leave it horizontal and draw it out towards me. If you can see it coming out, see there's a pedal spring in there that you have to be careful with. But there's the action. So when you play a key, a note on the piano, you see, you're just lopping that up. But the finger has so much to do with how you're lopping it up in terms of expression. Because if you force it up hard, you get the hammer jolting against the wire and creating cacophony or noise. But if you can draw like a violin does with their bow, violinist draws with their bow, then you can make a very beautiful tone. Whether you snap the finger toward you a little bit or whether you just sink gently and slowly all the way to the floor and just hang on it, just the lever, do you see? Has to catch in the back check. Well, it doesn't have to, but it will if you play heavy enough. So I'll put it back in now. Just to miss that spring is hard. There. Shove it back in. And then normally I'd put the cheeks back in so that it's exactly in the right position that I needed it to be in when I play, so it doesn't hit on the wrong wires. I think it's okay. So the point I want to make out to you is, if I want to produce a nice sound, first I have to sing it, and I have to hear what my voice is going to be like to make it sound and link to the next note. See, then I'm going to go in gently enough. I want to flop right through, but I want to draw gently, so drop and draw. But what I'm drawing is, I'm drawing an analogy to drawing a bow on the violin, on the wire. The violin bow is made of horsehair, and there's a frog at the back end of that bow, on the right end of it. And when you're looking at the bow before you go to play, and you turn that frog, little knob on it, till the horsehair becomes taut. It's got a bit of a tension to it. It's not floppy. It's got some strength to it. Your finger has to have some strength to it. It has to have that firmness in that end joint so that when you dive right through to the floor after you release on the way up and go right down through, it has to have that drawing ability, because just think of turning that end knob on the end of the bow to tighten up the horsehair, and think of doing that same thing to your finger. The sense of drawing like that to to give the right amount of tension as, first of all, you've put rosin on the horsehair so that it's going to have friction. Then you want to be able to draw that bow on that wire and produce the most beautiful tone. Same with the cello. It's that whole arm weight. It's that relaxed arm weight drawing, but there's got to be that tension, and the frog has to be turned just right so that there's the right amount of tension in the horsehair to make the wire vibrate the way you want it to vibrate. So if I want a beautiful tone, I have to already have it in my mind, the sound I want, but then I've got to, and that it's gentle enough and that it's tender enough, but that it's going to be clear and projecting to row ZZ. So you see, it can be as if I give a little puff of air up, it gives me room to be able to go out with that finger, and then the finger is the violin bow, and it's drawing toward me, my stomach, that kind of feel as I sink in and have the little bit of a snap, and it's just going to make it sing. If I go I do D. See, each note you can feel what you want from the piano before you go to play it. You don't just play it and then hope it was good enough. You hear it in your mind what you want. You've practiced it so many times getting it that way because you know physically what you're doing. That involves the violin bow, the length of the finger as a violin bow with the rosin on the horsehair. The same thing with your finger. The grip, the drop, and the draw, just as gentle as you want. And you can create wonderful sounds. If I go, there's so many things that you have to have to make a piece sound right. You have to have it counted out right. So if I was taking Clair de Lune, I could count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. See, no rushing at all. Just keep everything calm and in its place. And there's, so many pieces. When the action's not in with the cheeks in the place, it's not playing quite right. And then it doesn't sound, but it's whether it's catching. The soft pedal moves the hammers over. You can see the action actually moving when I go put the left pedal down. It moves to the right so that the hammer's only catching on 2 out of the 3 wires. Well, when the cheeks aren't in the right place to hold the action in the correct place, then sometimes it plays on too many wires or not enough wires, or even sometimes the note beside it if it's really out of regulation. So, but if you can think of throwing that up, not too heavy, you got to think of how you'd sing it. But then more gently. See, out and draw. Anyway, that's the point I wanted to get across to you tonight, is that there's a big similarity between, excuse me, playing a stringed instrument with a bow and the horsehair and playing the piano. And if you want a huge tone, it's the dead weight. Same thing. If I want to use, sounds so out of tune, but when you can focus your fingertips, and you can think of the flesh of the finger, the pad, and then you can think of the pad being like the horsehair on the bow, violin bow. You wouldn't play it with much. It has to have a tautness to it, pull to it. Then when you use the finger and you've got the limpid wrist and you can sink in and draw, drop and draw, that's what Del Marcus used to say all the time. If you're relaxed, if your shoulders are relaxed, your forehead's relaxed, your eyes are relaxed, your cheeks are relaxed, your neck is relaxed, your shoulders are dropped and relaxed, your arms are loose and heavy, you're in a position to arm the bow, the finger or the bow of the violin or the cello with your body weight and draw the tone out. But it's how you start that pull of that horsehair that has the rosin on it, and it's the same thing here as you draw. Come in slowly and draw. You can create really a magical sound. Anyway, I hope that gives you a few ideas when you're practicing. Have a good night now. Bye-bye.